How do you become a great medium? What does a medium practice on a day-to-day or a week-to-week basis that helps them get better and better at giving readings? I'm so excited about today's video because I am revealing my personal mediumship development to-do list. It's what I do on a daily and a weekly basis to improve my craft. If you haven't subscribed yet, definitely hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell as well if you'd like to be notified when I release a new video. I share recordings of my readings and how-tos about communicating with spirit, plus more. I've got 10 practices that I'm sharing with you. As you hear these different practices, I want you to start making a note of the things that you might want to work on with your mediumship and what you feel inspired or drawn toward in terms of actions to take. And that may not even be something that I have on my current mediumship development to-do list. I have to say that developing your mediumship is not an overnight thing. It's not something that you can rush. It's not something you can learn in a weekend. It takes major discipline, constant work, and serious commitment. That said, in my experience, it has been wild to see just how fast these practices I'm about to share with you come into play in my readings and take them to the next level. Everyone practices different things to develop their skills. These won't be, every single one of them, the perfect strategies or actions for you to develop your craft. And I also have to tell you that my mediumship development to-do list constantly changes based on what I want to work on or where I am in my life. Number one, daily meditation. This hands down is one of the most important things you can possibly do. As a medium, you want to constantly be working toward being the clearest channel you can possibly be. That means when you're channeling spirit, you don't want your own bias to get involved, and you want to get better and better at not misinterpreting the spiritual impressions that are coming to you. What better way to become a clear channel and know what it's like to sit in that silence than meditation? This is a daily practice for me. Sometimes when life gets really busy, it doesn't happen, but generally I meditate 5 to 7 days a week for a minimum of about 20 minutes. Some people do what's called sitting in the power. I also take part in this. You can check out my videos on sitting in the power. They're great. Meditation is more of an inward practice to feed the soul and recharge your batteries. It's also a time that you can talk to your guides or spirit, where sitting in the power is really building that mediumistic power and connecting to spirit and learning how to build that connection that happens when you are channeling a spirit. Intention is so powerful, and whether you're sitting in the power or meditating, again, this is a practice you want to do on a daily basis as often as possible. Number two, on a weekly basis, I do exercises to strengthen my clair senses. So as a medium, the way that we are communicating with spirit is by using our clair senses. We have claircognizance, clear knowing, clairvoyance, clear seeing, clairaudience, clear hearing, clairsentience, clear feeling, clairgustance, clear tasting, and clairalience, clear smelling. These are most of the clairs that most of us will use. And so it's just like any other sense. If you want to be able to communicate with that sense, you want to strengthen that. So on a weekly basis, I might decide, well, I want to do an exercise for clairaudience today. And then the next week, I might want to focus on clairvoyance. Or if there is a particular clair that you're really wanting to spend more time on, you might do a clair exercise every week for a month on that clair before cycling to others. To really take your mediumship to the next level, doing these clair strengthening exercises are very important. If you stick around till the end, I'll be sharing a resource with you about how you can start strengthening your clair senses. Number three, I practice automatic writing at least once a month. So this is also a time to practice being a clear channel. Now, when I'm doing automatic writing, I like to have an intention that I set. Maybe it's about getting clarity on something particular, like a direction in my life. I could be trying to channel my higher self, maybe my spirit guides. I know people, when they do automatic writing, that they really look to channel their past loved ones in spirit. There are some wild things that have happened for people who do that. You're wanting to get a response from spirit in some way that is powerful. And it's really nice to decide who you're writing to and what maybe your question is. That can be a really great way to go about things. It takes practice. It's not something that happens overnight, but you want to try to clear your mind mind and just write and see what comes through. Now, you could do this in a notebook, you could do it on your computer. I do use my laptop because when I get information, it comes quickly. I just can't write that fast. One of the ways that I know I'm really connected to spirit is sometimes when I am writing words that I actually don't know the definitions of, or I have a sentence structure, or just a way of talking about something that I wouldn't usually use myself. It's fascinating. It happened to me one of the first times that I tried. The possibilities are endless. So if you're into automatic writing, you can always get more information on it, but that's something I like to try to practice at least once a month. Number 4, if you are a medium who wants to strengthen your gift, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You've got to be giving readings on a regular basis. Now, I've shared in other videos that I gave 100 readings for free when I was first coming into my gifts, and I can't think of anything that was better for me being the type of person that I am than to just throw myself into having experience after experience. I gained confidence, skill, my way of communicating with spirit started to expand and grow very quickly. And so I like to give at least 2 to 3 readings a week or 9 a month because I always take off a certain amount of time. It's really important to have boundaries and sustain your energy. You may not be aware how much energy it takes to speak to spirit while you're giving a reading. And so I do caution you not to go overboard. You can learn what you need to learn. You can do all these practices, but you don't need to be giving readings every day. Number 5, it is so powerful and so important to develop a spirit communication journal. I have one of these. I review it weekly. I add at least one symbol or communication discovery after every single reading that I do. I remember a reading where a spirit that I brought through had drowned, and it was the first time that I brought through a spirit who had passed in that way. And so I didn't actually have a symbol for that. Instantly, my mind just saw this image of a whirlpool from a movie that I had seen where someone passes via drowning. And I knew that that was the symbol that I wanted to use going forward. So I wrote a description of it and put it in my spirit communication journal. Now, symbols don't always need to be clairvoyant. They don't need to be things that you see with your third eye. Sometimes certain symbols would be something that's whispered to you. Even just identifying the sitter, a lot of times I clairaudiently can hear mom or dad or brother. Other times when I am getting a reference to cancer, I can hear the word cancer. That was the way they passed before I actually see any kind of clairvoyant symbol. But all of these things are symbols and signs, and spirit a lot of the time uses them repeatedly, even though not every spirit communicates in the same way. And that's why it's nice to have multiple different signs and symbols to give spirit a wider dictionary that they can use, if you will. All right, we've got 5 more practices to review, but let me know so far which practice that I've shared resonates with you and makes you excited to try out. Leave it in the comments below. Number 6, stay in touch with like-minded people. Developing as a medium can be lonely, isolating. It's also really exciting, and it's so important to have somebody to talk to who understands what it's like to channel spirit. I have a lot of people in my life who are supportive, but don't necessarily understand the mechanics of mediumship or even feel completely overwhelmingly excited about it. And so to have that handful of people in my life who very much understand how mediumship works and what it feels like to do this work is absolutely priceless. 7, consistently ground, center, cleanse, and protect your energy. Now, different people have different beliefs about this. I personally don't spend much time worrying about encountering dark forces of any kind. I know the power of our intention, and I feel very grounded in my work. I know that I am only available to attract spirits of love who want to share messages of love as well. That being said, it's really important to ground yourself and be aware of the energetic toll that readings take. It's a big deal to connect with spirit energy and channel that in whatever way that you do. It takes a lot of energy. And at the beginning, I really made the mistake of not paying attention to that energetic cost and getting dangerously close to burnout. So it's really important that you stay grounded. And you're going to see in a moment with the next practices I share that I have certain ways of grounding myself and cleansing my energy and protecting my energy that are really powerful for me. Number 8, movement. So I mentioned just previously that I have great ways of grounding and cleansing my energy. And for me, that's definitely movement. I love resistance training and weightlifting. I very much enjoy the peace and calm and strength and flexibility that comes from yoga. And I'm a total nature girl, so I love to get outside and hike. And I like to do each of those things 1 to 2 times a week in some kind of mix. And it's this perfect reminder that while we are spiritual beings, we're also incarnated beings right now. And any gifts we have to offer are only as powerful as our ability to make them relatable and applicable to our other fellow incarnated beings. So I love movement. It's a huge part of my development, especially when I'm out in nature. It makes me feel connected. Number 9, consistently expand your knowledge base. This is so important because as mediums, spirit works off of our knowledge base, our memories, our experiences. Everything that we've done and seen becomes a tool for spirit to use to communicate things in a clever way that's as efficient as possible. There's a lot of different things you could do. Perhaps you're coming into your gifts and you love it when you see other mediums get names accurately. Maybe it's time for you to look at baby names and print out lists and read them on a regular basis to be more aware of all kinds of names that you might be able to get during a reading. One thing I love to do is review my family tree images on a regular basis. Families can be made in all kinds of ways, and I like to practice writing out my own family tree or the family trees of friends. When you really get into it and you see that somebody was married once, twice, or perhaps there is a lot of cousins or a lot of aunts or uncles, you start to see how complex the family tree can get. But if you get really familiar with it, it's easier to receive those images from spirit and very quickly and efficiently know all kinds of things about the makeup of a family, which is really powerful validation when it comes to giving spot-on readings. Number 10 is one of my favorites, and it's just that reminder I give myself to enjoy my life, to remember that at the same time I'm looking to further and develop my skills as a medium, I'm also here to have the ride of my life. There's one thing that I've learned from being a medium. It's that we look back on our lives and we want to feel like we did the things we wanted to do. We made the most of every minute. We felt the highs and we were still present during the lows. We didn't check out. We're supposed to have that full spectrum of life. And though I believe that spirit loves it when we're joyful and lighthearted and that we are meant to find joy in our lives, we're also meant to experience the entire spectrum. And I want to do that ride with my eyes wide open. I've been so inspired by this work and by spirit to take that approach to life. And so number 10 is my reminder to truly live and live as well as I can while I'm here, alongside the practice of developing myself as a medium. If you are interested in strengthening your clairs so you can speak to spirit, then you can download my free guide. It's below in the description. It's called 3 Easy Exercises to Strengthen Your Clairs and Speak to Spirit. There's 3 different meditations there that can help you strengthen your clairs and start feeling like you can receive spiritual impressions more accurately. Be sure to check out this video next. You can watch me do a reading and see how I bring through evidence that these very practices have helped me with. If you like this video, give me a comment below, give me a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell, and that way you'll be notified the next time I release a video on all things mediumship.